Thank you, John. I am Brad Baker, Vice President and a Director of Mineral Mountain Resources. As John mentioned, we are looking for a Tier 1 gold system. We are targeting elephant hunting, if you want to use that term. The potential in this system, we think, is unparalleled. It is absolutely enormous. So here's the Homestake deposit, a bit of a cross-section, if you will, just to give you scale. It mined down vertically almost 2.5 kilometers, had a strike down plunge of about 4 kilometers. It still was in ore, but due to gold prices in 2001 and the cost of hauling that ore back up to surface, they were forced to shut the mine down. That mine is currently been given over, and NASA is looking for neutrinos or dark matter at that site. It was the richest, deepest gold-hosted or iron formation-hosted gold deposit, and one of the most successful deposits in North America. Now, here's our location. Rapid City is the main hub that we would fly into. It would take us about 20 minutes to drive to the Rochefort project in the Black Hills. You can see we're approximately 25 kilometers away from the old Homestake mine. In between the Homestake mine and where Rochefort's located, there's a big overlay of sediment, so you would not be able to explore for this iron formation. You'd be drilling completely blind and a lack of success. So Rochefort historically had a lot of small turn-of-the-century deposits that were mined down possibly 150 meters, very shallow. They were just scratching the surface in the area. I'll also mention infrastructure is tremendous. The government has been fantastic. Permitting process, very clear. So we follow those, and we've had no trouble obtaining all our drill permits that we want, and we're also planning for further exploration so that when we anticipate our drilling success, we hope there won't be any lags in permits coming forward for the next round of drilling. I'll just go back. On the right there, you can see our land holdings. We, for the first time in the district, John mentioned there was a patchwork of land holdings. In 1876, when Homestake was discovered, there was quite a gold rush in the region, and everybody went out and staked small land holdings. And that became quite a problem later on for the majors to enter into the area. They were unable to consolidate the land holdings. People wouldn't deal with people. People didn't like Homestake, or Homestake didn't like other major companies being in the region. And that prevented a lot of detailed exploration in this region. We believe that we can host what are called ledge-style deposits. That's what composed of the Homestake mine. We have right now, as it stands, a minimum of 5 of these style targets on our property, and each one of those has potential for multi-million ounce deposits. In order to work this property, you have to assemble a team of experts with intimate knowledge of these style deposits, and specifically the Homestake model. If you go in there with an average team, your chance of success is going to be slim. It would be like closing your eyes and throwing a dart at a board. So we've taken a lot of time to put together a team with intimate experience in the Black Hills with banded iron formation deposits and with knowledge of the Homestake deposit itself. We also went and consolidated databases. All the information that we can get over the last 3 years or so, we have acquired from 6 different companies. In today's dollars, that covers $20 million worth of exploration in the region, including drill holes, soil samples, grab samples, but they never flew any geophysics. And with an iron formation, the one thing that geophysics can show you very clearly is these iron formations. So we went and put it together. It's akin to having a puzzle, with each person having 20 pieces of a 500-piece puzzle. Now that it's all consolidated into one place, we have a very clear picture of the regional geology and why they had success or why they didn't have success in the past, which will greatly enhance our success rate going forward. Now, I mentioned ledges. You can see the consistency of grade in the Homestake deposit. Each ledge, you can see, went from about 7 grams up to 9 grams per ton. Our first target that we'll be drilling on the standby trend would have the kind of volume that you see at the 9 ledge there. So we have that blue sky potential just on one of our targets of potentially 9 million ounces. Now that's very forward looking, but that's what we do. We have to look forward to see if it's worthwhile to spend shareholders' money. The risk reward here is tremendous. So here, just a picture of two of our main areas, the Cochrane deposit and the standby. Today I'm going to focus more on the standby because we are currently doing a financing at 20 cents to raise $3 million. We hope to close that shortly, and we will be drilling primarily the standby for our first phase of drilling. You can see there were a lot of early gold deposits in the area. Standby mine, there's some of the assays from some of the drill holes. I'll show you a better slide of the potential further down. The Cochrane mine was an example of land consolidation problems right here. There was 268,000 ounces, non-43-101, because it predates that, at 6.34 grams per ton. That deposit actually exists on the very bottom portion of the current landowner's property, and they could not acquire the property that we now have, where that deposit and probably 90% of the material or more would exist on our land holding. So we plan on tracing that down onto our property later on. Here's just a schematic of the 9 ledge that I mentioned, well over 9 million ounces at Homestake. As you can see up around surface, you get little dots here of mineralization. Those were nice, but really you want to find this, your centroid. This is kind of the heart of the deposit where the majority of the ounces are. And there's specific things we look for. I'm not going to get into the technical part of the geology here, but just for scale, you can see this is the main exploration that was done at the standby deposit. So you can see some of the grades here, 10 grams over 3 meters. There's 12 meters of 4.61 grams, but we don't believe that they actually got into this part of the system here. We took our geophysics, since I was here last in May, we have finalized taking that data, a lot of it from the 80s, a lot of it was on floppy disk. We had to put it into ArcGIS, and we took our airborne survey and correlated that with all the known rock types and what was seen in the drill holes. And this is just the magnetic features in the area. This is what hosts these gold zones. So within here, we can see our target, first target, 1,000 feet wide, 3,500 feet long, 4,500 feet deep. Right here alone. We know that goes down at least 1.5 kilometers, potentially a lot deeper. So it is an enormous target, and we already have the evidence of high-grade gold there. Here it is. At surface, there's a bit of a typo here, but they had 10 grams per ton across 10 meters. They also drilled a hole where they intersected. I'll just back up real quickly. The very last level down at about 150 meters of the deposit, they sampled within the deposit and they had 10 meters, probably close to 8 grams per ton. And a company that's an oil and gas company actually drilled a hole below that, approximately 100 meters below that level. And they intersected a hole that we have seen the core at the Homestake Core Library. It has multiple instances of visible gold over a width of 37.5 meters. That core has been quartered. It's not ours. We can't take the last quarter and have it assayed. That's where one of our very first drill holes is going to go. We think that they found a tremendous discovery right there with intentions of going back. But Getty Oil, you have to trace their history. They ended up becoming just pure oil and gas, and they bought other companies and moved on. So that is where our first drill hole of our 9 to 12 hole program will be. So we want to drill 3,200 meters. This is a first pass. It'll be minimum 9 holes. We're going to use 3 setups and do a fan of holes in each one of these. Now, all that data we have put into software called Leapfrog now, and we can model it and see it in 3 dimension and see that some of the past drill holes, they didn't have the right orientation of the deposit. They didn't target the right structure or the right fold system. We will target this properly. We have so much information that the geologists, they go to sleep. I dream of money, houses, cars. They dream of Technicolor maps and the potential of this deposit. So right now, we also plan on doing some more mapping, acquire a few other blocks of land that we're very excited about. Here's the proposed budget for the first phase of drilling. And as I mentioned, if you do want to know more about the financing, please come out and talk to us, or the history of the district or the geology. Here are some of the people that we've put together, PhDs. We also have a structural PhD as an advisor, Dr. David Shaw. We've put a team that has extensive experience in the Black Hills and Homestake itself. Here's our share structure. So we're currently trading at 25 cents, 26 cents. We will be adding 15 million shares to this with the financing, and our cash position will go up by about 3 million shares right there. Our market capitalization is about $12.5 million. So, like I said, I wave my arms. This could be the son of Homestake, could be the brother of Homestake. We don't know, but the chances of us defining high-grade ounces over robust widths would be tremendous. So I hope you come by, see us, introduce yourself, and we'd love to tell you more about our story. Thank you.